Well, good evening, everyone in TikTok land. This is Carrie from wildflowerartbycarrie.com, and I just wanted to do a little garden tour tonight. We got some new blooms to show and let you all see. I got some gladiolas here that are blooming. I have two colors right now. I have wine, like this wine color, and then I also have this scarlet red color over here. And the hummingbirds love these. They just love those. It really draws them in. So, but the wine color are really pretty. I really love those, and they add a nice contrast to the garden, and their height as well. They're very tall, and they look nice with the roses. So I have those over here. I want to take you around and kind of show you what else I have. This is my little east garden. So this garden here basically gets that east sun in the morning and some nice afternoon shade. And then I do have soaker hose in this bed with some bark mulch down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see down in there. So that really holds the moisture in. And then of course once the plants get to this size here, you have it shades it too, so that really helps as well. But I also have catnip in here, and every day my kitty gets a little piece of catnip every morning. He waits by the door. Come in. I'm done watering to get that, and that's going to be blooming soon. It's getting its little bloom heads. So they have like a purple flower, and the pollinators just love the catnip. And then this little pot here, I have some vinca, sunflowers, and morning glory. So in another month or so, they will be up and blooming and climbing and putting on a nice show there as well to kind of fill in that little space. And then this right here is a chrysanthemum, and that is white in color with some pink mixed in, and so that comes back every year, and it's pretty big, puts on quite the show around September or so. So I'm always happy to see that. I try to have lots of flowers in my gardens that just, as the season moves on, they bloom, they go by, and then the next type of flower comes in and puts on its show. So I have a lot of autumnal type flowers that come in and stuff too. And I also like having oranges and yellows because they're summery, but then when fall comes, they look really nice and kind of get you into that fall feeling, with those autumnal colors and stuff. So I showed a picture here of the larkspur. That's almost gone by now. It's all seed pods, so I'll be collecting those. And they kind of had their little season, as I had just mentioned about how some go by and have their time to bloom and do their little bloom show. And then this is my first flush of the hot red pokers, and they will bloom, and then I will cut back the stalks, and then you can see there'll be some new ones coming there that down here. And it'll push out new bloom spikes all summer until frost. So I like this grass. It does really well. And layered in there I have cosmos and some sweet alyssum that have gone by as well. But another thing I'm really excited about is the purple cone flowers. The echinacea is blooming now, and the bees love that. So I posted a picture a day or so ago of this view here, this shot, looking across at my garden benches and my mosaic, and a lot of people like that picture. And I got asked what the pink flower is, and that is a bougainvillea that I have bonsai'd. So I made that into a bonsai. I kind of shaped it. Bougainvillea is a vine, likes to climb. You usually see these in tropical climates in California and Hawaii, things like that. And so I actually got these off of Etsy. It was a little root when I got it. I bought it with a couple little leaves on it, and that was a couple years ago. So it's been growing, and it's grown massively. I've had it climbing up a window, and I cut it back every year. I finally said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bonsai it and keep it trimmed deep. And that I really don't like, I'll just trim them back and just snip, kind of like Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. And in the winter, because they are an annual here in my growing zone of 7B here in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, I will put them down in my greenhouse there, the wildflower casita, with the shade cloth on top right now. It doesn't look too good like that, but I kind of got to do what I got to do. But it will be put down there, and I have the heat that runs down there to keep it overwintered. So, but we have some more coreopsis coming up, which gives those nice pops of yellow. And then I have a lemon tree that I have to give it some iron tone, something with some, I think it's called chelated or chelated iron, so that the leaves start to green up a little bit. It looks like it's kind of struggling there. But, and then over here, the last time I met with you guys, I think it was last week, if you watched, I had my septic tank hole dug out, so I covered that up with some plywood, put some rocks over it with a paver and a little decorative pot, and I planted some zinnias in there, and they're doing okay. They're struggling because we've been in the high 90s, 98, 99, 100 degrees this week every day, blazing sun. So I might end up losing a couple of those, and I'll have to put some more in there, but I'm hoping to have some nice zinnias in there for later this summer that are blooming. And while we're over here, we'll take a look at my Vago garden, see how everything's coming along in here. I posted the other day about the flea beetle attack I had, and they're just about gone, thank goodness. Gone, but if you look at my lettuce, you see all these little holes. You can see them on there. I've rinsed this lettuce down several times tonight, and but they will just eat anything, and they just eat holes and make Swiss cheese of any vegetation they can get on it. I thought they'd last longer, like a good couple weeks, but they're just about gone. There's still some around, but they're not swarming in here. And let me lift up my cloth. You can see my lettuce. Some of it you can see, if I can get it to focus. There we go. You can see the ones with all the holes in them. All those little holes, those are the ones that got attacked. And then some of them they didn't. Some of them they didn't even touch. So, but I don't see too many of those flea beetles anymore. So I think they either died or moved on, which is fine by me because I like my crops and I like my salads. So I want my lettuce. But I'll be picking some lettuce this weekend. I'll probably just, the stuff that has the bad, you know, the holes and stuff in it, I'll just cut those out and chuck them. But I got basil coming up there, and I got little cilantros, and this is a carrot here that's blooming. I got to cut back those flowers. I don't want it blooming yet, you know, and throwing seeds. So they got a term for that. I can't think of it at the moment, but bolting. It's bolting. That's what it is. They bolt when they put out their bloom spike to, you know, get the pollinators to pollinate so they can go to seed, which lettuce does the same thing, cilantro does the same thing and stuff. But in the corner there, those are baby carrots. And then I have tomatoes here, and then cucumbers. everything's coming along, getting bigger from when I showed you all a few weeks back. My broccoli got nailed by those flea beetles, so I had like 5 in there. 2 of the little ones died, and then I have that one, 2, and 3, and they're looking pretty sad right now, so hopefully they'll come back. And then I have a bunch of little peppers, and those are bell peppers. And then my corn is there in the back. I have that in pots. I'm going to see how that does this year, growing it like that, because I kind of want to keep it in the screen house to keep those moths out that lay the eggs with the worms that eat your corn. So I don't want that. So if they're in here, they'll be protected. And then these are my zucchini plants, and they're getting bigger. And then I planted some peas. I have 1, I have 2, there should be more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get like some chicken wire and stake it up, because they're going to grow vertically. I like to have vertical growing gardens when I can. So for instance, my cucumbers are going to grow vertical. That's why I have these tomato things here, so that once they start to vine out, I can start to train them to climb. Of course, same with the tomatoes there. So anything you can get up off the ground, it just saves so much space, and they can grow upwards. So I like that. And then my little blueberry plants, putting out blueberries. And then I have, in those first 2 little buckets is chamomile, and then the back 2 buckets are just some succulents that kind of fell off the succulent plant, and I decided to just throw them in there to see if they propagate. But anyway, the garden is doing good. So other than that flea beetle mishap we had earlier this week, which bummed me out, like I said, they're almost gone now, and I don't see any signs of them on my netting anymore. So good riddance. But anyway, let's go check out the garden. I'm going to go ahead and shut this. So I've been watering in the morning. I get up at 5:15 because I got to start my day job at 7:30. So I come out and I water, hand water, turn on my zones, 20 minutes each. And the zones will be for the garden beds, which is my north garden here along the fence line. And then the east garden that I showed you with those roses and gladiolas, and then I have a south garden. So each garden bed gets 20 minutes of water, and then and that's it for the day, because like I said, they have bark mulch, and they're so big and the leaves are covering now, so they're shaded. So the bark mulch holds the water in, and that's about all they need. They're doing, the garden's doing really good. Now my pots and planters, I have to hand water those. So that's why I get up early and do that in the morning, and then I'm going to do it again here tonight. And that's why, because we've been having those temps up in the high 90s, 98, 99, close to 100. So it's been really hot this week, which, we are at almost the summer solstice. So we're almost the closest to the sun, we're getting to that time of year. But I have some Russian sage that's blooming over there now, and it's all caught up in my wind spinner, so my wind spinner doesn't move. But the coreopsis is getting bigger and taller. But this moonglow juniper in this pot is full of cosmos, and I do have a sunflower in there. So I like to just kind of fill my pots up with lots of zinnias, sunflowers, cosmos, and just let them grow. So here's another one I have here, and you can see cosmos are starting to bloom, and coreopsis here, the yellow. And then I do have zinnia that's coming up, and then these here are flax. So in the morning, the flax, their little buds open up bright blue, and then they close for the evening. So in the morning they'll be open again. And I actually took a picture this morning, so I'll have to post that picture